Okay, and we're live. Welcome, everybody. It's the season 10. It's the playoffs of the first round. The Hill Hawluchas taking on the City Quagsires. I am Caleb, the C Gull Gulley here, and joining with me for this cast is Ali, Hipsterbrownkid, Sheikh. Ali, welcome to the playoffs, man. It's been a long season up to this point. I'm excited. Are you excited? How you feeling about this matchup right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how we wrap up our first season in Generation 9. I mean, this is a classic matchup with our NC boot camp. They usually work together, but now we get to see them play against each other.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. These two guys practice together a lot. They work together a lot for just getting things set up. But let's kind of talk about how we got to this point. Let's look at the final standings of the season 10. Uh, you know, for the WW Pokemon Draft League. As you can see, Ali here, Hill Hawluchas finished with 21 points on the season, differential of 39, which is astronomically high, being our overall number one seed for the Draft League. And Queen City down there as our 8th seed with 5 points and 20 and a negative 28 differential. Kind of a rough go as the season gone on, but Chapel Hill taking the Sinnoh DIvision, and they did it, clinched early, and it's been a great dominant season by the Hawluchas. I'm kind of curious to see how they do this playoff run. But first, before we dive into anything any deeper, walk us through this bracket that we got up here.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got our standard 8-man bracket. We've got our first matchup at the top here with Chapel Hill versus Queen City being our 1 and 8. Right below, we've got our 2 and 7 seeds, our 3 and 6, and then our 4 and 5. And the winners of those will go through a dynamic reseeding where the top semifinal match will be between the highest remaining and the lowest remaining seed. And the second semifinal match will be between the two remaining middle seeds. So, got some competition going on.
Absolutely got some competition going on. 3 games. Win 3 games and you're season 10 champion. It's always exciting anytime in the playoffs like this, and it's always a tough bracket now that everybody's been doing this for a while. But hey, let's take a closer look at the Chapel Hawluchas here. We have their season pulled up here. I actually got the wrong graphic pulled. Let's look at the game stats before the Pokemon here. So here's the game stats for the Chapel Hawluchas. They're coached by John Morpheus Moore. Overall 1 seed. Never was really in any doubt whatsoever. Ali, how would you interpret the season? How would you kind of walk us through how this happened?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of red on this
It
page.
is a lot of red.
They won 9 out of their 10 matches, with the only one they lost being to you.
Yeah, that was before they made the big free agency move, so I don't even know if that counts.
Yeah, I mean, now rosters are locked, and they've been running over the league with what they've ended up with their roster being.
I mean, it's been an extremely good run by the Hawluchas here. As you can see, there's this number underneath points. It says 21, differential 39. Ali, that is a season, or no, it's a season record. It's the highest differential any team's achieved in the draft league. That's basically winning every match by like 4 to 5, extra, KOs in your favor. That's amazing and extremely difficult to pull off. So these guys have been on a tear. They're playing really good. Undefeated in their division, non-division 3-1. That's very good. And then game scored 19-5. That was the second highest win rate in the WW Pokemon Draft League. Just under 80%, like at 79.5. So they've been playing out of their mind up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, we can see it seems they've adapted the easiest to playing in Gen 9, new set of Pokemon, new set of rules, and it's just been a dominant season for them.
Absolutely. Well, while we're talking about Pokemon, let's pull up that Pokemon stats graphic back up for us to take a look at. There you go. There's their 13 Pokemon. Ali, walk us through what you see here and how this team kind of performed.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of high tier picks coming like just out of Gen 9 ladder play, keeping in mind this is still under Series 1 rule set, so got that Goldengo being their most brought Pokemon, most used, and same can go for ladder play, where it stayed at the top of the usage chart. But they've got like some other strong picks coming in there, that King Gambit, and especially uh their Corviknight
Yeah.
uh got 15 on that. Same with the Goldengo. No team has really been able to answer it properly, which is why they've just been running over the league with it.
It's been impressive. Corviknight at tier 2 this season. Now that's been properly tiered after coming out of that Gmax form makes a big difference in just what it could do. We kind of get to really see what Corviknight can do in the draft league, and turns out it is a menace, and we don't all no one likes playing against that thing. As you can see here, Primeape with a 9 KD. That little asterisk there means it was the league leader, best KD in the WNW Pokemon Draft League, which is insane. I know that's a favorite of yours because that's a tier 3, and you love your tier 3s, man.
I do. I love those low tier Pokemon. I like to see what people can do with them.
Absolutely.
And John here has been making it work.
Yeah, I mean, look at the key to success. You're a low tier expert, man. Walk us through this Ditto. It's been a tier 3. He's made a case to make it get promoted to tier 2 because of how good it's been. What's up with the Ditto, man?
Ditto's a double-edged sword, one of many, I'm sure, that's come into the league, but it can be really good if you know how to use it properly. Otherwise, you're stuck with a suboptimal position on it.
Yeah.
You drop it in front of a Gyarados that's been set up with Dragon Dance. You drop it in front of a Hydreigon that's been set up with Nasty Plot and completely flip the tempo in your favor. Or if you don't get it in the right spot, you're in front of a Garganacl and you're locked in the curse.
Yeah, yeah, that's a rough spot if that happens. But whenever it takes over any boosted Pokemon, it just takes over a game. Just as more so than probably Goldengo or Corviknight have, and it's been so good for the Hill Hawluchas. But hey, we talked about these guys. Let's talk about their matchup coming into this. The Queen City Quagsires. Make sure I got the... Oh, no, I did it again. So we'll look at the game stats first. I forgot to hide that other one. But Queen City Quagsires here, coached by Ham. Finished 8th. They've had, a little bit of growing pains, I think, going into this season. But they've had really good teams in the past. So I would never count this team out. And Ali... I mean, you've played this guy. We've played this guy. He's always tough to play against. So, kind of, what are you seeing here? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you see that early season, they got their only 2 wins real early in the season, and by the end of week 3, when you're 2-1, you're pretty strong contender for topping the league. And I mean, Queen City, they really like to find a core of 3 to 4 Pokemon that they really like and they really know how to use well, and they can take over games with it. But once the other teams have figured out that core and how to beat it, you lose your advantage from it.
Yeah, that's kind of what makes it tough. When you're playing 10 games and they're all best of 3s, it's tough to week in and week out, pull off a win, especially because everybody here plays so good, and it's just very challenging because everybody's they're doing their best, and if you have a core that people play around, they've seen it happen for 4 weeks in a row, it makes it tough to keep that going. Something to know about Queen City is they were trying a lot of different things on how to utilize some of their pieces towards the middle and end of the season. So kind of experimenting. A lot of us were for Gen 9. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think, it's a learning curve, new season, new gimmicks. And they hung in there. They hung in there and they gave themselves a chance every week. And that's really all you can do. And if you're doing that, you're gonna break through. And what better time than the playoffs here, right? So
exactly. I'm a big contender for that playoff buff.
That's
I
right.
like to keep it to myself. Past couple of seasons, Chapel Hill's been taking it from me.
Yeah, they've had some good runs. I can say that doesn't matter how good of a regular season you have, playoffs always trump the regular season. So never count any of these guys out. But hey, we talked a little bit about their season. Let's look at the Pokemon here for Queen City. 13 Pokemon. There's a lot of bulk here, Ali. A lot of bulk, a lot of support. You know, walk me through. What do you see? What do we do here? So.
Well, one thing that pops out to me is that Skeledirge. See, they brought it in 18 single games.
It's a lot.
It's the most KOs on their team. This thing is a menace, strong, bulky, slow, which is really how this team wants to play. They've got an amazing Trick Room core with that Farigiraf and the Rapska to set the Trick Room. They've got the Amoonguss to guarantee get it off. They've got those players that really like to be in it with the Skeledirge and the Clawitzer.
Yeah, I mean they've got quite a few different Pokemon that they can do a lot of this stuff with. I think my audio cut out there for a second.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, we're good. It's okay. You're talking about the clots. You're talking about the bulk. We see a lot of supports here, but we got to remember Mousehold population Bob Widelands is absolutely insane. Insane damage. We haven't seen it a lot this regular season. Maybe it shows up here, but hey, this team has a lot of surprising damage in different places. I mean, we see Gulley here with a 2.5 KD. That's the best on their team. That's a tier 4. With all this redirection, we've been able to see the Moody procs go and get the boost in either special attack, whatever it really needs to get the ball rolling. And so whenever they played through Gulley, which is I think impressive to do it through a tier 4, they've seen a lot of success, and Gulley's been very successful at this point. So we have our keys to success here, Ali. What do you see here with the keys to the success before we move on?
I see Skeledirge once again.
Yep.
Kind of self-explanatory. See that Rotom Wash? This is a piece that Queen City has used in previous seasons as well. They've had good success with it, especially with its versatile moveset and play style. They can play aggressive with Thunderbolt, keep up tempo with the Volt Switch, run Hydro Pump. But they can also run Will-O-Wisp, Eerie Impulse to try and slow down the game a little bit, keep their own bulk up, and just get their own Pokemon set up slowly, which is how they want to play.
I mean, it works when it's working for them. Torch Song Skeledirge runs away with games, but talking about games, these guys have played 2 series up to this point. So looking at the head-to-head between the Hill Hawluchas, Queen City Quagsires, we saw them play in Week 5, saw them play in Week 10. And Chapel Hill won both those series with a 2-0. Or I guess they went 2-0. They won both with a 4-1 game record. All time, Chapel Hill leads this series 4-1. What are you seeing here with some teams? Is there a lot of different strategies being thrown around, or is it like, hey, maybe I got unlucky this week?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, these stats are, I mean, they're gonna look bad.
I don't think
They're
anyone
always gonna look in Chapel Hill's favor, no matter which team you put right next to them. But what I see here is the example of Queen City's core that they really like. See the Amoonguss, Rotom, Skeledirge, and Gulley. 4 out of the 6 mons brought to each game. With a couple intervening pieces, whereas Chapel Hill, they only have half the team the same between the 2 weeks. So they can switch up that play style, but the Queen City staying with their consistent, what they know how to do, and what they know how to do works.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's tough, because you go into the first time playing a team like, hey, this was a really close game. I know it says 2-0, but it was a close series. Played really well. it's tough to go like almost a whole different direction, especially when you have what you're comfortable with, and then that's just your play style. And if it works for you and you're comfortable with it, comfort's hard to move away from. But it's tough to beat somebody 3 times. And so I think that's the real tall order from Chapel Hill. By this time, they've played each other 3 times. Queen City's seen what Chapel Hill's done to win, and maybe they have something up their sleeve that can, pull one back. If you only win one out of a set of 3, the playoff matchup's the most important one, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all that being said, let's finally get to the matchup on paper. What we have going on here, Ali. The floor is yours, man.
Well, I see Chapel Hill bringing 5 of the same 6 they brought in that week 5 match. The only thing being swapped out is the Frostmoth for that Quillfish. And I see Queen City trying something new with some of these lesser used pieces. They still have the ever-present Skeleturge and Rotom.
Absolutely, you do.
But now you've got better routes at aggressive play, whether that be a Follow Me Mousehold or a Beat Up or a Population Bomb. See that Oinkalone, the Flapple that want to play fast and hit hard, and that disruptive little Hippo.
Yeah, very disruptive. I'm really interested in just seeing what we have here. Like, we have the Arcanine and Gholdengo, both normal Terra types. Which makes me wonder, are we just going to see an extreme speed Arcanine here? I really don't know what's going on with this Gholdengo. Normal, maybe to immune their ghost weakness is something that I'm kind of thinking here if you're worried about Skeleturge with Shadow Ball. But on the other side of this, Dragon Terra Hippopotas, man. I don't know what's going on there. That's so spicy to me. Just kind of see how this works, Maybe it's just for immunities. Is there something Hippopotas does that we're not aware of?
My only thought here is a potential Dragon Tail, which I don't even know if it gets that move, but being as bulky as it is with Eviolite, it can reliably get that move off with its negative priority and just kind of switch up the pace of the battle.
Yeah, that's actually getting tempo in your favor for Queen City in this matchup actually seems like a very viable option to do, because when you're dictating the pace of a series or the pace of a game, it's a lot easier to control it and get the win. When you're having to scramble and you're having to get back into position, it's so hard to win a game. And Gen 9 with Terra's going on, it's just tough. If you get behind, it's very tough to come back. At least that's my personal opinion. With how the season's gone so far.
Right. It is less tempo defining than Dynamax was.
That's true.
But it certainly does put the game in a new state.
Yeah.
I do like the versatility of Terra types we have here. Like you mentioned, that normal type on both the Arcanine and the Gholdengo.
Yeah.
It's like Arcanine's likely going to be that fast physical offensive with the extreme speed, getting stabbed from the normal type. Gholdengo's losing its ghost weakness, replacing it with an immunity, and losing its fire weakness.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a good. It's just good Terra choices. I think on the Chapel Hill side, and now we get to see Ditto. So whatever QCQ's up to, Ditto's going to be there. It's going to cause problems. And it's just going to be something that you really got to watch out for. You just have to always be present. You don't want to get to like +3 or +4 on Torch songs with Skeleturge just to have you get beat by your own Skeleturge, because that's just a tough spot.
Right. I do like the Terra types Queen City's bringing here. We have electric on the Rotom, so turning that into a pure electric type gets rid of all weaknesses.
Oh, I think that's a fantastic choice. No weaknesses.
I'm predicting a disruptive supportive set, but who knows what could happen? Yeah. I mean, with how hard that thing's going to be to get off the field.
That's a good point. Well, Ali, the good news is we can find out what happens. We finally get to take a look at this series. I'm excited to see how it goes down. Let's go ahead and just dive into game 1. We'll get that in-game overlay pulled up, and here we go. They gave us the VODs, which is fantastic. as we get ready to go into game one here. We get to see the leads. We get Gholdengo, Qwilfish, Flapple, and Rotom leading this one off. Ollie, what are you seeing here?
I see an aggressive lead from Queen City. And I see disruption from Chapel Hill, which is exactly what we've got going on.
Absolutely, we get to see what this Rotom's up to. Really not sure what the game plan is with Rotom, but this turn one will tell us a whole lot on what to expect to see here. Curious to see what Qwilfish with that Intimidate on this Flapple. Oh, we do see Sucker Punch going into Icy Wind, super effective on that Flapple with the speed drops. Nasty plot Gholdengo, that's spooky. A Volt Switch to the Wakanberry, it eats that. Somebody summon him for Rotom.
Shout out Wakanberry Qwilfish.
It worked.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's a spooky spot though. Gholdengo +2 with that nasty plot there. Obviously didn't focus under too much threat. As we're still waiting to see kind of what is coming in on that Volt Switch pivot there. We do see the Oinkologne. This Oinkologne actually packs a pretty good punch.
It does. Got those stuffed cheeks body press sets. I mean, it's normal stab hurts as well, but against a ghost type, I don't know how much that helps.
Yeah, it does get a pretty good wide array of coverage. So depending on what this Oinkologne set looks like, it'll tell us a lot on like what Ham's thinking here. And we do see the Protect from Gholdengo. Another Sucker Punch from Flapple with the Thunder Wave off the Qwilfish. We do unfortunately get the Paraproc as we go into turn 3. That's a rough one. That's a rough one, Ollie.
Yeah, Queen City is just not able to pick up any tempo here. They're trying to read into that Sucker Punch, which I think they might be choiced into.
Well, that's a tough spot. Now we see the Terra Normal, another failed Sucker Punch. That's brutal. As an Icy Wind comes in and knock the speed down. A second nasty plot. Holy smokes. We do see Stomping Tantrum take Gholdengo down to half. My gosh, this Gholdengo is spooky.
Yeah, that Terra was smart. Otherwise, that Stomping Tantrum might have actually KO'd there.
It's a good chance. We do get to see Protect. Flapple with another failed Sucker Punch. It goes down. I think it's wanting to be out of the count. It had a rough time out there. That Qwilfish is insane. It just ate Stomping Tantrum and it ate a Volt Switch. Is this level 100 Qwilfish? We just don't know it.
It's definitely cooking. There was a great read from Queen City though, going into that Qwilfish slot instead.
Absolutely. Seeing the Protect. As we see Mousehold come in. There's a chance for redirection. We do see Terra Dark with Bite. Gholdengo hangs on. Another Thunder Wave from Qwilfish. This thing has been rough as we see Make It Ring hit. Takes Oinkologne to 1%. Mousehold. Oh, Focus Sash, Paraproc. This is unfortunate. Rough spot if you're Queen City right now.
Yeah, there's a sash. There's an invisible sash on that Oinkologne. Gholdengo still +3.
Another Protect being very, very passive with the Gholdengo as Qwilfish picks up the double. Qwilfish with 2 KOs on the board for this series. As we're probably going to see the Rotom come back in, and it's Rotom against the world. It's a tough spot. Very tough spot. Icy Wind. Shadow Ball and a Rotom. That takes it out. That will be game 1 going to the Chapel Hill Hawluchas as we come back to this screen. Ooh, that was probably exactly how you drew that up if you're Chapel Hill right here, Ollie.
You don't have to show the rest of your team that you brought. Qwilfish, Gholdengo managed to handle it all on their own. We saw a lot of disruption coming out there from the Qwilfish, those Thunder Waves, those Icy Winds.
Yeah. The Thunder Waves there were massive. Just speed control, because we know Gholdengo is not the fastest thing on Earth. And so protecting it, and then just really smart with getting your nasty plots and your protects off to just mitigate any threat you felt like you had from Sucker Punch, which I think was the biggest deal. It made Flapple Flapple struggled. It had the Paraprox, it was intimidated. It had a rough time. I think you might have been right with the choice band set, which if that's the case, that's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some more pivot plays come out of Queen City, especially if that is a choiced Flapple.
Yeah. I think the big
Because
thing, though, we didn't see Ali. We didn't see Skeledirge.
we did not see Skeledirge.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a pretty big piece for Queen City to get rolling here. As long as it doesn't get picked up by the Ditto, Skeledirge is gonna be able to, I think, handle that. I just went blank on the cheesy top dude, Goldango, because if it has unaware that +3/+4 special attack boost, it doesn't matter anymore. So
Right. And I don't see a lot of very good answers from Chapel Hill for the Skeledirge. Just being like with that Terrifier, losing your dark weakness from the Mabastiff
yeah.
and your ghost weakness from the Goldango.
Plus, it's going to power up your
And
biggest move choice. That's going to just slowly ramp up throughout the battle. So
exactly.
I
And
think
Goldango not being that Terra Water that we've seen in the past. Don't have a lot of answers for it.
Yeah. I think
So I'm hoping to see it come out.
Yeah, I think the only counter you can see from the Chapel Hill side is if we get a Flash Fire Arcanine. But we can go into game 2, see what these guys got cooked up for us moving forward as this series progresses. So Ali, when you're ready, let's dive in to game 2.
All right. Let's go.
Get that put over there. We'll hit play, see how this goes as we look at the team's reading. I'm really hoping to see the Skeledirge here. We get the Rotom Wash, and here it is. Skeledirge is on the field, plus the Arcanine Hatterene. That's Intimidate Arcanine with a clear Amulet Skeledirge. So Skeledirge stats will not drop this series.
If you're Ditto, you're happy to see that.
Yeah. Especially if it starts getting ramped up. It's interesting, got Hatterene here maybe hitting a Trick Room. But if you get Trick Room, I think you're actually okay.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think you want that if you're Queen City. And we only saw a Volt Switch on Rotom, so
Rotom could swap out here. Don't know how much a Fire Terror on Hatterene helps, especially because you're not going to be able to drop the special attack with that Mystical Fire on the Skeledirge.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Skeledirge is just going to be able to ramp up, and Arcanine showing the Intimidate is not immune, but we do see Crunch going straight into the Skeledirge, taking down to half HP. Rotom with Hydro Pump, it eats that, and Hatterene goes down to Shadow Ball off Skeledirge, so only half HP, but 75%, that's pretty good, and here comes the Ditto.
Yeah, really good tempo in Queen City's favor here. Didn't even get to see what that Hatterene was trying to do.
Oh. And Hatterene has really good special defense too, so that Skeledirge, it's packing a punch.
Absolutely. My thought is full max HP and special attack.
Yeah. It definitely handled that crunch rather well. Now I have to be a little worried. We did see Hydro Pump off Rotom, so Skeledirge not completely safe, but you never know. You never know. We do see the Oinkologne come in for the Skeledirge to eat that Hydro Pump, takes it down to 67%. Crunch into Rotom. Get a Volt Switch. It will pick up Arcanine. So Queen City getting some good tempo here as we're waiting for the pivot.
Yeah, it's still got four mons up.
Yeah, and we got Maushold for redirection if you want.
Yeah,
and here it
not
is.
sure how much it helps against Goldango, but got a Ditto locked in the Hydro Pump and 2 normal types in front of a Goldango.
I think you'll take that, especially because Maushold, good chance it might have Friend Guard, could mitigate some of that damage. Plus,
I believe this is a Technician set since we saw Bite come out.
That's a good point. Good point. I didn't even think about that, Ali. See, that's why you're the analyst here. You know what's going on.
I'm always here for spicy strats.
Absolutely. Technician Maushold. So we could see a big pop bomb go off in this series. Maybe even here into the Ditto slot. Maybe take it down. Now I got Goldango against the world. We do get the Protect. Hydro Pump into the protected one, make it rain. It's going to take Winklow to about 37%. Stomping Tantrum to half HP on Gholdengo with leftovers. I don't think that's something we saw from game 1. So this is going to be a bulky Gholdengo set, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Gholdengo is just going to keep getting weaker as it drops, as Make It Rains.
Eventually, it's going to have to do the Nasty Plot. And at that point, there's a good chance you can get a free shot off into it, especially because Ditto is locked into that Hydro Pump. But we do see Rotom Wash coming in. There's the Protect from Gholdengo. Another Hydro Pump resisted back. I think actually has higher HP after that. With
that Citrus Berry.
Yeah, Citrus Berry is very good. These are going to be some bulky Rotoms. I like it.
Yeah, I think Ham is just trying to stall out the 5 PP that Ditto has. So he can safely bring in the Skeleturge. So playing it slow, absolutely correct here.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't even think about that. If this is a Scarf Ditto, then yeah, struggle is going to become a problem. We do see the Terra Normal from Gholdengo with a Protect from Rotom, Hydro Pump, and Oinkologne. Oinkologne hangs on, oh my gosh, and a nasty plot from Gholdengo. Oinkologne getting a little bit more chip in there, but that was a huge live. Huge live, I think.
It's very bulky. And now they had to make a hard choice with whether to Terra or not, because you're either going down to Stomping Tantrums or Oinkologne, but now it's able to be hit by a Pop Bomb from the Mousehold.
That's a good point. And you got the Hydro Pump coming in, another Make It Rain. That should pick up the Oinkologne with the crit there. Rotom down to 20%, wrote the Thunderbolt, chipping away at that other Ditto. At this point, I think, if I'm counted right, you might be safe for Skeleturge here, right?
I believe there's one Hydro Pump left.
I guess we'll find out here, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see just a Protect on the Skeleturge and probably get some more chip on the Rotom.
Yeah.
Or on the Ditto Rotom.
Yeah, so it's easy to mix them up, I feel like, at this point. But and you also got Mousehold in the back. So Mousehold's full HP too. And so I like your spot here. No, it is a struggle. So it did use everything at that point. Gholdengo with the Shadow Ball. And Skeleturge, interesting to not see the Terra there. But Gholdengo is only
Shadow
one
Ball
left.
or Protect. I think we just let Skeleturge go down for no reason.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher in my opinion. But you got the full HP Mousehold. Gholdengo can hit both targets with Make It Ring, but it's going to drop its attack status goes. We do see the Terra from the Rotom into Electric, and there's the Pop Bomb. It's not immune to that. That's going to do a lot of damage when that finally gets to land. And there it goes. There's one.
Oh,
did it miss? Oh, it's
unlucky.
Very unlucky. But
right, because this is Sash Mousehold. This isn't Wide Lens.
Oh, that makes this actually very interesting. Another Pop Bomb into Protect. Slowly getting its HP back. At this point, you just got to hope it hits enough, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it get to 5? It does.
Okay.
Mousehold clutches it out. Holy smokes, that was close. If that doesn't go 5 or more there, that's a QCQ game to go up 2-0. But here we go. 1 game apiece, Ali. Man, that's exciting stuff. Big plays there. That was super close, though. Super close game.
We're not going to see a sweep in either direction.
No.
We had really good adaptation from QCQ here. Bringing that Skeleturge, which, I mean, it took 1 hit, or a tank to hit at the beginning, returned by taking down the Hatterene.
Yeah, which that was a big one.
And, yeah, I mean, I feel like it didn't need to faint there at the end, but maybe Queen City's thinking about something that I'm not.
Yeah, I can see why you do Terra Electric, though, right? Just because that's full immunity to the steel moves, and you're going to power up your Thunderbolts at that point if you live. But I don't see any reason not to go ahead and just do the Terra Fire. You're gonna take less damage. He may know the calc though. I don't. I don't know the calc on if you take that Shadow Ball if you're 50% HP on just normal fire Skeletors there. But hey, he was able to come out, take the win, still finished it up. Got a little close at the end, but did a good job wrapping that one up. Take it to game 3.
And if I'm remembering right, you're actually losing resistance to steel moves if you go Terra Electric.
Oh, really? See, I always think
Yeah.
electric takes the resistance, but it's the water, isn't it? Water's what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water and electric both resist it.
Okay. So yeah, that's less damage in the end. You're right, but more damage on the offensive side. So I mean, it's just like which one do you think you need here? I don't necessarily think that's a bad play. I just think Skeletor is the easier win condition there, but Pop Bomb clutched it out, got the 5, and whew, I'd be sweating a bit after that one. I'm not even playing, and I'm nervous after that. But here we go.
Okay, we're going into game 3.
Let's go ahead and get into game 3 as we look at this. We'll go ahead and get this one rolling as we switch over to the end game overlay. You want to see a little bit more of the same here from QCQ on their lead. I think Skeletor did really good. And I think Skeletor, Mousehold, and Rotom are going to be the ones. We see the Rotom and the Mousehold with the Mabosstiff Ditto. So right off the bat, Mousehold's got 8 Mouseholds on the field right now.
It's a whole lot of mice on this field and one big dog.
One big dog. And it's not Intimidate. So Mabosstiff actually has some really interesting abilities. You have Guard Dog, if I remember right, and Stakeout, right? Stakeout's the other one?
Yes. And I don't think it's Guard Dog because Queen City does not have an Intimidate user on their team. So it would have to be Stakeout.
I like the Stakeout, especially if you have Rotom with the pivots here. This Mabosstiff actually can do a whole lot of damage into that Rotom slot for whatever comes in. So you have to be a little worried about Volt switching.
Yeah. It is going to do, what, 1.5 times damage?
I believe so.
So whatever's coming in.
It's been a minute since I've done my homework on Stakeout, just because Thievul was the last Pokemon I remember having it. So might be the only other Pokemon who has it.
I believe it was a Thievul signature ability.
Okay, well, not anymore, but Mabosstiff has it too. So here we go. Terra Electric with the Protect. Pop Bomb into Rotom. That's one. Just the one with the Jaw Lock. Actually, Jaw Lock's very interesting here, Ali, with that Thunderbolt going in. What do you think about Jaw Lock? Keeping them locked in if that hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's keeping you in a situation, and if you don't want to be here, you can't really switch out. But I do think it's counterintuitive with Stakeout if that is what we see.
Yeah, at least you're guaranteed to make sure the other slot's switching, so it's not a 50-50 ball anymore. Right. So, interesting play. I think that's how Jaw Lock works. It's been a minute. But another Pop Bomb. That hits once, hits twice. 3. Into the Citrus Berry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does it get 9? It got, oh my gosh. 9. Holy cow. With the U-turn. Ditto's down. 9 consecutive hits without a miss there. There's the Jaw Lock. Oh my gosh, that's some damage. And you can no longer escape on the Winclone slot. 9 consecutive. Holy smokes.
Impressive without a wide lens.
Yeah.
And Winclone did not like that hit at all.
No, that hurt. Well, they also had the U-turn. So that could have been the Stakeout plus the Jaw Lock. And that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. We do see the Protect. Pop Bomb. It's protected. Make it rain. We'll pick up Oinkologne, take Mousehold to that 38% again. Here we go. Skeletor. This is Ham's preferred Pokemon in this situation. Can it pull it off?
Yeah, but it can't Terra here.
Yeah, that's actually really spooky.
So it's gonna take double super effective from each of these mons.
There's the Pop Bomb. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6. Oh my gosh. But these Pop Bomb hits are insane. There's to Make It Rain off Goldango. Jaw Lock. Skeletor with the Heat Wave. That's a new one.
Okay.
We don't see that very often. Picked up.
Takes one back.
Yeah. if anything, that gives something for Chapel Hill to think about going into game 4 here as they pick up game 3, going up 2-1, Ollie. Man, those pop bombs, though.
Yeah, pop bomb gives and the pop bomb takes away.
Yep, that's how I see that there. When you're not running wide lens, it's not the most consistent move you got. But man, it does some damage. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah, we see that technician damage boost coming in that the Ditto is missing.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Is it? That's just so much damage. That was a really close game though. If any of those roll any different way, I think we have a totally different outcome there. That's just the way I see it. Just because when you're hitting 9 times or 10 times on something like that, that's just 9 times through the citrus berry. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, there's still a chance for one more. So it's I don't know how much you could have controlled the outcome of that game just because how much it came down just to population bomb.
Yeah, that's really it. Because if pop bomb goes off one more time on the Boston slot, now you have Hatterene in earlier. Maybe you're not taking a whole lot of damage off that jaw lock there if you're Skeleturge. And so there's a lot of what ifs. But I think the teams are right though. I think having the Mousehold, the Rotom, and the Skeleturge, and then that's the 3. You bring those 3 if you're on the QCQ side. And I think with having Ditto and Goldango on the Chapel Hill side, I think those are the 2 you want, plus whatever other 2 that you think fits. I think Arcanine's good here. The Mabosstiff looked really good in this game. So it looks like these teams are kind of settling in to how this series is going to play and the meta within the series.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what they try and pull out here.
Yeah.
So we've seen 11 out of 12 Pokemon, I believe.
Yeah,
Only the Hippopotas hasn't shown.
Hey, I want to see it. I want to see the Hippopotas. I think it can come in. It's got the stab ground. That's going to hurt. And I think that could be a game changer here. So, all right, let's see what we got as we roll into game 4 here. Looking at this series as we switch over to that there we go. Here we go. They're doing it from the view of Ham coming for the comeback. Take it to game 5 is what we're looking for as a series 2-1 in favor of Chapel Hill. Wally, is there a preferred lead you'd see from either side here?
I mean, the Mabosstiff is putting a lot of pressure out, especially against the Skeleturge.
I like it. Plus, we've seen U-turn and Volt Switch. So, having that pressure on the double damage and the jaw lock locking somebody in place there. So, if you do pivot, got to make sure you got it right. Yeah, I think if you have... I like the Rotom leading. It's just what carry do you want beside it? Do you want the Mousehold or do you want Skeleturge beside it? I guess see Skeleturge being your late game here, being your win con. But here we go. As we see the leads, we see Mabosstiff and Hatterene coming in. Hippopotas shows up. All 12 made the series. And Skeleturge. That is not a Sandstream Hippopotas. What is the other ability?
Is it Sand Force? Which... interesting.
We'll have to look that up.
I think that's the other one that Hippowdon gets.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. But here we go. We get the Terra Dark Mabosstiff with the Protect from Hatterene. Goes the Jawlock and the Skeleturge. That's a one-shot. Yawn on Hippopotas. Well, I think the damage was done there. Mabosstiff came in, took out the main threat. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not seeing the Terra from the Skeleturge. Because you've got one Pokemon that really threatens the Ghost type and one that might threaten the Ghost type if it has Shadow Ball.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Mousehold coming in. I think this is you're really gonna rely on these population bombs hitting for enough throughout this. And here we go. The pop bomb war has begun as Ditto comes in. Goldango in the back. There's the protect. Another yawn into the Ditto. Actually, really good yawn by the Hippopotas there, covering for the switch.
Yeah, now if you can protect one or both of these, that Ditto is just kind of useless.
It's forcing the pivot or it's taking a nap. Either way, you like that. A little tough if you're Mousehold. You want to hit Population Bomb, but Goldango is there. But Rotom comes in, takes the Population Bomb. There's 2, 3, 4. It's Citrus Berry. 5, 6, 7. It's not going to do it again. 8, 9. Oh my gosh, it hit all 10. Holy crap.
Hey.
And then we see Make It Rain. And here comes Mousehold. This Ditto's going insane in the series.
Tried to read out a swap from that Ditto, but targeting the yawn back into it.
Yeah. Got the bite from the Terra Dark. Mousehold picks up Goldango there. Ditto did take its first sleep turn of the game with Helping Hand off this Hippopotas. So Hippopotas going to help him Mousehold as much as it can get this one rolling. Hatterene does switch in. It's an uphill battle. You got Fairy, Dazzling Gleam. You got to be a little worried about if you're Mousehold now, since you're a Dark type.
Yeah, I don't think this is the position you want to be in.
I think you just got to go for the Population Bomb, right? Here's Helping Hand. Ditto's asleep. Pop Bomb into Ditto. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ditto's down. Mousehold picks it up. Here comes the Dazzling Gleam. Mousehold and Hippopotas. Hippopotas is a tank, man. Both taking massive amount of damage, but they're both up.
Yeah, Mabastiff is back. This thing packs a punch.
That's right. Jawlock into the protect. Another yawn out. Here's the Dazzling Gleam. Hippopotas will go down. Mousehold against the world with a drowsy Mabastiff.
Yeah, I think you just gotta pray for a double protect here. Let the Mabastiff go to sleep.
Yep. And it didn't go. So with that, Chapel Hill takes the series 3-1 Ali. That was actually a really good battle. They played that. That was extremely close. Population Bomb was the absolute game changer, though, the whole series. Getting 9 in one game, 10 in the next. Rotom had a bad time taking those.
Yeah, nobody really wants to take a Population Bomb, even when it's not boosted.
Yeah.
But I mean, hitting a 20 base power move 10 times.
Yeah, it ramps
up.
A
lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage. It has to get there. We saw a few Population Bombs go like 3 or 4 early in the series. But by the end, they ramped up, man. They was there. Biggest takeaway from that is Ditto was the complete game changer. Getting the pieces that Chapel Hill wanted. I think the Rotom was good to put the pressure on Skeleturgeon in the early parts of the series, but taking Mousehold to have your own Population Bombs, get that 200 base power move back into the QCQ side, definitely put the match on its head, made it very complicated to play. Another thing I have to ask is Terran Skeleturge, I think, would have been the play, but QCQ's thinking something different. They're the one doing all the prep. They know what they got. So I'm not going to question it too much. So,
man, I can see not wanting to get hit by your own Population Bomb.
Yeah, that's true. You got the immunity there. That's actually a really good point.
And looking at it as an outsider, not a player in this game, I think tearing or terrestrializing the Skeleturge was the play in just about every one of those games.
Yeah, that's what I liked. I liked it a lot. Just because you're boosting your damage, you take away the big damage off the Jawlock, off Mabastiff. You take away the Shadow Ball from the Goldango. Now you're resisting just about everything off of the Hatterene that we saw a lot with the Terra Fairy. And so, or not Terra Fairy, but Dazzling Gleam off of the Terra Fire.
Yeah.
And so, at that point, it's just Psychic. If it's carrying Psychic, that you're going to be taking damage off of. So Terrifier Skeletors, I think, makes this game even tougher than it already was for Chapel Hill, I think. But
Yeah, I mean, stuff happens in the pressure of the game.
yeah.
But I mean, Chapel Hill still played amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Both sides did.
yeah.
I mean, that game one with the protect and nasty plots to just completely make Flapple useless, to get your Goldango in a spot where it can just make it rain for the rest of the game and it's going to do tons and tons of damage. Excellent play in game one for Chapel Hill there. And then QCQ coming back with a very strong game two, using the Ditto, getting the Skeletors, getting the KOs it needs, and then, Chapel Hill adjusting, saying, hey, Population Bomb's what I need off this Mousehold to take over. And that's what it did in games three and four. And now they advance to the semifinals with a 3-1 win.
Yeah. Get to see how the rest of this season plays out. We're the beginning of the end.
Absolutely. Well, with that, Ollie, we'll go ahead and start closing this one out. Any final thought before we say goodbye to those that do sit through and watch this cast?
I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard a lot of my thoughts. I talked a lot. So
Yeah.
they can hear the rest of my thoughts in another video.
There we go. Well, Ali, thank you for being here for this cast between the Chapel Hill Hawluchas, Queen City Quagsires. 3-1 your final game score. Chapel Hill moving on to take the lowest remaining seed going forth in the semifinals. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next round of the playoffs. See ya.